Hi everyone, I'm Chef Susie with Escoffier Online. Welcome to our live session this morning. Today I'm going to be making the old-fashioned buttermint. This has been around for a long time, and I'm sure at one point we've all had these. And this is something that oftentimes you'll see maybe in for a little favor at a shower or even at a restaurant by the door when you're leaving. So these are popular, they're easy to make, and one of the reasons that I wanted to show you how to make these was so of course you can make your own, and also there's so many different shapes, sizes, variations, and colors that you can make with the basic mixture. So if you were going to be making these for a party, you could customize them. So knowing that, let's go ahead and get started. So this is a super easy mixture. It's kind of a thick dough, almost like a paste, made with butter, a little bit of cream, some mint extract, and powdered sugar, and that's it. We'll knead it and then we'll form it. Super easy, lots of fun. You can make so many different colors, and like I said, so many shapes and sizes. Okay, so we're going to be using some mint extract. And this is pretty strong, so you're going to want to be careful not to use too much. You can always add a little bit more, but it's hard to take it out. You can use another extract if you like. For example, you could use vanilla. It's going to change the color if you don't use a clear vanilla. And you could also use an almond, a rum, and even a coconut. But traditionally, these are made with the mint extract. So we're going to go ahead and make mint today. So knowing all that, let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is I have my soft butter in the mixer. We're just going to cream this. And then we're going to be adding the cream and the extract. And then lastly, we're going to add our sifted powdered sugar. And please let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, this is super easy. It's been around for a long time. Okay, so please let me know if you've made the buttermint before or if it's something that you're interested in making. And like I said, these are nice for favors. They're nice, you know, just for eating, like a mint. And you can also use them to decorate desserts, but be mindful, they're very sugary and they could have melting or sweating when in the refrigerator. So let's go ahead and add our cream. And you'll see a variety of recipes for this, and you'll see some recipes that have condensed milk. That's okay. You'll see some recipes that have regular whole milk or skim milk. And, you know, just different variations on the recipe, and just, you know, kind of find one that you like that works best for you. We're just going to go ahead and scrape this down, and we'll get most of that cream incorporated, and then we'll go ahead and put our powdered sugar in. Just kind of let it work on its own a little bit. For a recipe this size, you'll use about a teaspoon of the mint extract, and like I said, it's strong, so be careful. You can always add a little bit extra. It's just hard to get it out of there once it's in. Okay, so we're going to leave this cream up for just a little bit, and while we're waiting for that, we're going to talk about a variation on the recipe. What you can do to make the chocolate mint is the chocolate buttermint. You can take out a little bit of your powdered sugar and add a little bit of cocoa powder. And I like to use a cocoa powder that's richer in color. The Dutch process is nice. The natural cocoa powder is a little bit lighter, but the Dutch process is treated, so it's a little bit darker, and that's going to give you a little bit more chocolate color in your mint. Okay, so we have this all incorporated. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our powdered sugar, and we're just going to add part at a time, because we can't really add all this at once because it just really can't take it. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of get that paddle. There we go. Leave us a little bit of room to get this in, because we all know how powdered sugar is. It has a tendency to go everywhere. So I usually do about a third at a time. When you start your mixer back up, go ahead and put that on low so it doesn't go everywhere. And this is going to form like a kind of a dough. You'll be able to handle it. So it's kind of a process, and like I said, I do about 3 different additions with this, and I kind of let it catch up. Keep in mind your butter should be at room temperature, and that's going to help this mix together a little bit better. Okay, and the buttermints, when you're using butter, they're not always going to be a pure white. They're going to be a little bit off-white, but that's just the beauty of the buttermint. But we're going to make some different colors, some different shapes and sizes. I think you're going to end up liking these. They're sweet, so I like to keep mine a little bit on the small side. And please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so we're going to let this get incorporated. And like I said, you're going to see it's going to have still a little bit of a yellow color. Not going to be pure white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add pretty much the rest of this. We'll save a little bit for kneading. Okay, and like I said, just let me know if you have any questions. And the powdered sugar does have a tendency to kind of go everywhere. Okay, this is looking really good. This is exactly how it should look. In the beginning, it kind of looks like it's not going to come together, but it will come together for you eventually. So what I'm going to do while I have a chance, while it's still pretty crumbly, I'm just going to get in here and scrape this down and make sure that there isn't any butter stuck on the bottom. Okay, and like I said, it's going to come together eventually. You can try turning it up a little bit. Make sure that it's not going everywhere. So it's coming together. It takes a little while, and you don't want this to be sticky. Going to kind of hold its shape a little bit. We're going to leave it go a little bit longer, and then it'll be ready to go. Okay, see, it eventually is going to come together for you. If you have to do this by hand, it's going to take some extra mixing, but you'll get it to come together. In this hand mixer, it's going to be a little hard because this is kind of a thick mixture. And also be mindful too not to leave this mixed too much if you're using an older model stand mixer that has a metal paddle, because you might get a little bit of a grayness in color. This is a coated white paddle, but if you have one of those gray paddles, which I actually have one at home, you're going to want to only mix it until it's incorporated, and then just go ahead and finish the rest off by hand, because you could get a little bit of that gray color. Okay, so this looks great. It's nice and it's manageable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some gloves on here, and we're going to knead this just a little bit. And please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so what's great about this is you can make so many different colors, different shapes, different sizes. Once you have the basic dough, it's really limitless what you can do. Okay, so it looks perfect. If you find that you have any cracking, what you can do is you can add a little bit less of the powdered sugar. You're just going to want to make sure that this is not too sticky. So this dough is perfect, and it's not too sticky. You can handle it easily. It's got a nice color to it. So let's go ahead and we're going to make a little bit of a pink color with this. Okay, so you've got a piece of dough here, and this is going to make quite a few mints for you. So what you're going to want to do is keep this covered while you're working on some of your different shapes and sizes, because it will dry out on you. You can either put some plastic down, or you can cover it with some plastic, or I like to cover mine with a damp towel. Okay. So you're just going to want to keep it covered so it doesn't get a crust on it. Keep it nice and soft. Okay, you can keep it right on your board. Okay, so let's go ahead, and you're going to be coloring this, you know, pretty much the same way that you would color your fondant. So I've got a little bit of liquid color. I'm going to make this one pink. So we're just going to add a little bit. And like I said, what's nice about these mints is you can customize them. I mean, if you're doing these for maybe a baby shower, you can do the pink and the blue and the yellow. But if you're doing it for a bridal shower, and let's say they have teal is one of their colors, you probably wouldn't be able to find these, you know, to buy them in teal. So it's nice that you could make your own. Can make different shapes and sizes. Like I said, the chocolate ones with the chocolate variation with the cocoa powder is nice. You can make these, you can put these on sticks, you can just do so many things. You can put them on straws, and it's really limitless. So please let me know what some of your ideas are for the classic buttermint. So we've got a nice pink color. Go ahead and knead this a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll this out, roll it into some log shapes. We kind of want to get this mixed in really good first. So if you're mixing it by hand, it's going to take a little bit. But if you were to make the whole batch on your stand mixer, I would put the coloring in the beginning, as long as you know how much you're adding. And like I said, if this becomes a little too cracky for you, what you can do is just add a little bit less on the powdered sugar in the beginning. And if it gets too sticky and you're seeing maybe some shininess, it could be from the butter if your kitchen is really warm or if you're in a warm climate. So keep that in mind. Okay, so what I usually do is I kind of start out with pretty much my basic size is like a size of a golf ball. So what I'll do is I'll just roll this out into a log, and then I'm just going to cut it. And like I said, if you've got any breaking, you can kind of, you can kind of push it together, or use a little bit less of the powdered sugar next time. Okay, so depending on what size you want to make these, that's how thick you should make your log. And usually make mine like this, and then I'll just take my knife and trim off the edge, and then I'll cut my mints out. Pretty simple to do. And then you're going to put these on a pan, and you're going to let them dry out. Usually it takes about 2 days. And you can also, they're kind of small to put on a rack, so you might just want to put them on a pan like this. And what I usually do is, after a day I'll move them around to make sure that the bottom is drying out okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other things that we can make with this dough. Okay, so I've got a little bit of yellow dough that I made earlier. Like I said, you can pretty much, you know, make any shape and size with this. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to put some sprinkles or some nonpareils on here, but let's go ahead and make a few flowers first. Yellow's a good color to make some flowers with. What you can do is you could either press this down or you can roll it out with your rolling pin. It's kind of a small amount. And you can pretty much cut these out with any, you know, any shape or size cutter. I have some flowers here. So I've kind of got this one that I like. So they're super beautiful. And these are just really a nice, like a nice little favor or a nice little treat. You can customize these for the holiday or for any occasion. I usually don't make mine too big, but I've seen them rather large on sticks before, which is cute. But keep in mind, it's a lot of sugar to be eating. So what you can do is sometimes I leave them plain like this, or sometimes I'll even, I'll put a little center. You could put a little candy in the center, or you could use a little piece of the dough that you have. Okay, so it's pretty easy to do. Okay, so please let me know kind of how you're exploring the classic buttermint. Okay, so next we're going to make, there's another classic size shape that I want to show you. Okay, so far we've got this, the rolled ones that are cut. We've got some cutouts. And there's another shape that you can make. And I usually just do these by rolling out a ball. Some people do these, you know, with a round cutter. You can do that as well. And I just press this down. And what I'll do is I'll mark it with a fork, kind of like you do the peanut butter cookie. But I always put my fork in powdered sugar first. So this is another, you know, classic, a classic shape. Sometimes you might have just a little bit of cracking on this one if you don't press it down enough before you do the fork mark. Okay, so as you can see, you know, the sizes and shapes, they're pretty limitless. Okay, let's go ahead and put these on our pan. Okay, so next I want to show you another shape. We'll make a square with this one. And what I like to do is I like to put some nonpareils or some sprinkles on here. And whenever I'm using the cocoa or the sprinkles or the nonpareils, this is the last one that I do because I have a tendency to go everywhere. And we like to think that our tables and our counters are flat and even, but these will roll like everywhere, so you'll see. So what I'll do is I'll sprinkle some of these on my table. And like I said, I'm doing this kind of at the end because they kind of go everywhere. Okay, so then I'm just pressing this in. And what I'll do is I'll kind of go around a little bit, just to get a nice, not like a complete layer, but I want to get some in there to give it some color. Okay, perfect. So then what I'll do is I'll cut this. You can cut this in any shape or size that you like. And I like to make squares with these. But, you know, like I said, it's really limitless what you can do with these dough, with this kind of dough mixture. Okay, so I like to cut a nice square with this. And these will go on to the tray to dry as well. So please let me know if you have any questions. And as you can see, we just, we made some real simple little candies here by just mixing some butter, powdered sugar, a little bit of extract, and some cream. Like I said, we're going to leave these dry. If it's a little humid where you are, you can store these in the refrigerator, but they won't get completely dry as they would if you left them out for a couple of days. But they're equally as good if they are in the refrigerator. And just be careful that you're sealing them in something that's airtight if you decide to refrigerate them. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these that I made earlier. Okay, so these are great. Like I said, for favors, they make great gifts too. So I got this little kind of mason jar, and I put a variety in here with a little ribbon. So easy to do, very economical gift. And we have some of the classic shape with the fork mark. We've got a few flowers. As you can see, these are nicely dry. You can pick them up. They're not going to bend at all. And I let these dry for 2 days. So please try the classic buttermint, the old-fashioned buttermint. Let me know how you're doing. And you can also try it, like I said, with cocoa powder and some different extracts too. So thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.